Hello and welcome to Rayboy Field for the 7A District 16 Championship game. We pick up here with 2 outs in the top of the first, and there's a ground ball towards Garcia at second. Throw over to first. That'll retire the side for Velez, and I'll catch you up on what you missed in this top half of the first inning. Well, we started out with a fly ball by Gio Vera. The Buccaneers are the away team tonight, so Southwest has the higher seed, and they are acting as the home team at Rayboy Field. But nonetheless, the Buccaneers will look to capture another district championship on the backs of Emmanuel Mercedes on the mound. And I will take you through the starting lineup for the Southwest Eagles. Leading off for them is Joe Valdez. Batting second is their shortstop, Dylan Duarte. Batting third is the catcher, Anthony Reyes. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Edwin Negrin. Batting fifth, the first baseman, George Latcher. Batting sixth as a hitter, Tyler Villamore. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Max Rico. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 7, Alejandro Porta. And batting ninth for them is Brian Garcia. On the mound for them is Marcos Velez, who went 3 up, 3 down against Gio Vera, Janayu Veras, and Alex Reguea in the top half of the first. And we'll be right back with Emmanuel Mercedes' first inning of work. We are back at Rayboy Field for Emmanuel Mercedes' first pitches of the 7A District 16 Championship game. Here we go. That one is an off-speed pitch in there for strike 1. Good curveball. He closed the Palmetto game, got the last 2 outs, cleaned up Giovanni Orta's 2 walks, and he got himself the save, and now he's looking to get a district championship on top of that. Last year, Emmanuel Mercedes pitched against the Southwest Eagles, and lost. I'm pretty sure the score was 7-3. There's a ground ball, fair ball down the third base line as Adniel Diaz was playing in, expecting a bunt, and Southwest has a leadoff single. That'll bring up Dylan Duarte for Southwest. As the first base runner of the game stands on first is Joe Valdez. Still expecting bunt is Adniel Diaz. Still playing in that one in there for strike 1. Good fastball. The 0-1 pitch is a ground ball, base hit to the right side of the infield, and Southwest First two hitters, 2 hits on Emmanuel Mercedes, and now with no outs and a runner on second and first, that'll bring up Anthony Reyes. And I would really expect a bunt here by Southwest to try to score at least a run in this bottom half of the first. Corners for the Buccaneers playing on the edge of the infield grass. Horta coming in now, and that one in the dirt, ball 1 on Reyes. Now here comes the 1-0 pitch by Mercedes. Off-speed pitch, low for ball 2. Reyes arguing that it hit him. Home plate umpire says no. Now here comes the 2-0 pitch. Pickoff attempt to second. Gets past Martinez, and both base runners will advance. As now the Southwest Eagles have runners on second and third with no outs in the bottom of the first. A throwing error by Mercedes on a pickoff attempt gets into center field and just allows both base runners to advance. Expecting bunt is South Dade, as that off-speed pitch is high for ball 3. Count 3-0 on Reyes. Buccaneers in trouble. Could load the bases with nobody out. That could be a darn near death sentence here in this first. Here comes the 3-0 pitch by Mercedes in the dirt, ball 4. And here comes Coach Baldo to already have a conversation with this pitcher. And we'll be right back after the mound visit. Now we're back after the mound visit by Coach Baldo. The bases are loaded for the Southwest Eagles in this bottom half of the first. And here comes Negrin, the third baseman. Middle playing back, the corners for the Buccaneers playing on the edge of the infield grass. Here comes the pitch by Mercedes. That one upstairs, ball 1. Alejandro Bros warming up in the South Dade bullpen. As here comes the 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. And now the count even at 1-1. The best case scenario right now for the Buccaneers would be a ground ball. They really would love one to either the shortstop or the second baseman, possibly turn 2 here. I'm sure they're willing to give up a run for an out. And stepping off the mound is Mercedes. Here comes the 1-1 pitch by Mercedes in the dirt, ball 2. Good work by Gio to keep that in front of him. Just off to an ugly start. Time is called in the box now. The count is 2-1 on Negrin. Here comes the 2-1 pitch by Mercedes. In there for strike 2. Good pitch by Emmanuel Mercedes. Now just looking to get the first out of this inning. Here comes the 2-2 pitch by Mercedes. Ooh, low ball 3. That one could have gone either way. The count is full now on Negrin, and in danger of walking in a run is the last thing you want to do with nobody out. Mercedes comes set. Here comes the 3-2 pitch by Emmanuel Mercedes. Swung on and hit high in the air. Rodriguez running towards it in foul territory. It'll go out of play. And we will do the 3-2 pitch one more time. Here comes, we'll do it one more time. Here comes the payoff pitch by Emmanuel Mercedes. Upstairs, ball 4, and the Southwest Eagles have scored the first run of the game. It is 1-0 Eagles after the walk. Bros still warming up in the bullpen for the Buccaneers. That'll bring up number 25, George Latcher. This could get ugly. Got to do a little bit of damage control here. That one low, ball 1, and it's just ugly right now. Count is 1-0 on Latcher. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Off-speed pitch inside, ball 2. Still nobody out in the bottom half of the first inning. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 1. On deck is the designated hitter, Tyler Villamore, number 16. Wind blowing in from center field tonight will kill any high fly ball. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 3. Count 3-1. I'm sure Latcher's about to get a pitch to hit here. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. There's a swing and a high fly ball hit in the center field. Gatto can't get to it. That could clear the bases. 2 runs are going to score for sure. Here comes the third. No throw. And the score is 4-0 Southwest in the bottom of the first. A double by Latcher gives Southwest 3 runs, a 3-run double. Now the Buccaneers are in a little bit of trouble. Nobody out in this bottom half of the first still. Sitting on a fastball there, and he absolutely roped it into the right center gap. The score is 4-0 Eagles. A lot of ball game left, but just absolutely not what you want to do out of the gate. Pickoff attempt the second. In time, and he's out. Buccaneers get the first out of the inning on a pickoff. Now there's nobody on base. Score 4-0 with 1 out. With a lot of baseball left. That one in there for strike 1. One-0 pitch is bunted, foul, and oof. The umpire gets in the way of Vera a little bit there. I don't know if Gio would have gotten to that ball. Count is 0-2 on to Villamore. On deck is Max Rico. This is the 6th hitter of the inning for Southwest. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Mercedes to Villamore. Off-speed pitch in the dirt there, ball 1. Here comes a 1-2 pitch fouled off by Villamore, and the count remains as it is at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch one more time. This time it is in there for a called strike 3. Mercedes gets the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Max Rico, the right fielder for the Southwest Eagles. 7th batter of the inning. That one in the dirt, ball 1. Comes the 1-0 pitch by Mercedes. This one is skied in the center field. Gato's going to camp under this one and put it away for out number 3. 4-run bottom of the first for the Southwest Eagles. How can the Buccaneers respond? We'll see when we come back. We're back here in the top of the second. Villamore on for his second inning of work. And he went 1, 2, 3 in the top half of the first inning, and the Buccaneers will look to respond to the 4 spot that Southwest put up. Velez is the pitcher, excuse me. That one in there for strike 1. Ton of baseball left to be played here in the 7A District 16 championship. The 0-1 pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. Count even now at 1-1. On deck, the Southwest transfer, Yuxnel Gato. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. That one in the dirt, ball 2. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Took a big hack for that fastball. Blew it right by him for strike 2. Now the count even at 2-2 on Martinez. He gets into that wide 2-strike adjust stance. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. And the count remains as is at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, fouled off. And the count remains. Good fight by Martinez, trying to be the first base runner of the game for the Buccaneers. We'll do it again. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This one at Martinez's head. He gets out of the way of that one. The count full now. Good AB for Martinez here. Velez comes set. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. There's a ground ball hit towards the third baseman, Negrin. Throw over to first in time for out number 1. Now here comes Yuxnel Gato playing against his former team, transferred from Southwest to South Dade. And he'll look to be the first base runner of this game. That was a great at-bat by Martinez. Buccaneers put together great at-bats here. Here comes the first pitch of this at-bat by Velez. Great off-speed pitch there for for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one in the dirt there. Now the count even at 1-1. The big man Douglas Horta on deck for the Buccaneers. In the hole is Damian Gorey. There is one out, so it'll take a base runner to get Damian up. That one swung on and missed for strike 2. The count 1-2 now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one fouled off. We got a big crowd here at Rayboy Field tonight. Here to see the championship game. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Inside, ball 2. Gato gives a little shimmy to the Southwest dugout. Here comes the 2-2 pitch by Velez to Gato. Upstairs, ball 3. And the count full again. Another great at-bat by a Buccaneer hitter. They are working the counts. Just got to find a way to get on base. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That one fouled off early on that fastball. Pulls it towards the Buccaneers dugout. The winner of this game will get an automatic bid into the 7A region and will likely be hosting a game. We'll find out on Monday at 2 o'clock. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That one inside, ball 4, and the Buccaneers have their first base runner of the game. And now the big man, Douglas Horta, digs into the box. Trying to get Gato in the score. The Buccaneers need to put as many runs as they can on Velez. Try to get him out of the game. Get to that Southwest bullpen. Horta will look to do something here. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. Horta swinging at that first pitch fastball. Here comes the pitch. This one in there for strike 2. A high called strike. It's the zone big for this home plate umpire. On deck is Damian Gorey. Time called by Horta in the box. Count is 0-2 on Horta. Big lead over at first. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. Good fight by Horta to stay alive. Oh, that was actually strike 3. Excuse me. And here comes Damian Gorey with 2 outs. Now Damian Gorey digs in with 2 outs in the top half of the second inning. Big lead over at first. Gato has. He's taking off. Here comes the third on the second. This one gets in the center field. Gato will remain at second base, and the Buccaneers have a runner in scoring position. A stolen base by Yuxnel Gato. Got to get this ball into the outfield. A ground ball, a single here will do the job, score a run. The Buccaneers desperately need a battle and put a run up on the board. No other time to do it than the 2 outs. Diaz is on deck for the Buccaneers. The count is 1-0 on Gorey. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one fouled off. Now the count even at 1-1 now. The count 1-1 on Gorey. Velez getting his sign from Reyes behind the plate. Here comes the 1-1 pitch in the dirt, ball 2. Good take by Gorey. The count, he's ahead of the count at 2-1. A single here most likely drives in Gato from second base. Velez gets his sign from Reyes. He comes set. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. A pickoff attempt to second. Gato knew it before it even got thrown, and he was on the base before the ball was out of Velez's hand. Velez has his sign from Reyes. Here comes the 1-2 pitch once again. There is a line drive, base hit by Damian Gorey. That'll score a run. Gorey rounds first, headed for second. He puts the brakes on, and it's a 2-out single to drive in the first run of the game for the Buccaneers. And we are We are rolling here at Rayboy Field. The Buccaneers scratched across their first run of the game with that Damian Gorey 2-out single, and Diaz will look to keep it going for the Buccaneers. On deck, the 9-hole, Connor Rodriguez. There's 2 outs in the top of the second. First pitch by Velez is hit into right field for a base hit, bobbled by the right fielder. Headed for third is Gorey. Here comes the throw. Not in time. First and third for the Buccaneers after the 2-out single by Adniel Diaz. That'll bring up Connor Rodriguez. Try to drive in another run. Runners at the corners for the Buccaneers in the top of the second. And here comes the pitching coach to come have a chat with this pitcher. And this is a big at-bat for Connor Rodriguez. Has not hit very well this year. But if there's one time right now for him to get hot, this is the perfect time to drive in the second run of the game. And we'll be right back. We are back now for Connor Rodriguez's at bat. First and third, Diaz on first, Gorey on third. The fielding error by Rico in right let Gorey get to third. Diaz got jammed on that first pitch. Small lead over there at first. Here comes the first pitch to Rodriguez. Swung on and missed. Definitely was sitting on that fastball, just a little bit late on that. And he'll have to readjust here and try to do something in an 0-1 count. Count 0-1 on Rodriguez. Here comes the pitch. There's a ground ball, base hit! Past the third baseman Negrin, and the Buccaneers get 2 back, and the score now 4-2. Connor Rodriguez with a great piece of hitting there on an 0-1 count to get the Buccaneers right back in striking distance. And now here comes the top of the lineup, Gio Vera. Now batting the catcher number 4, Gio Vera. And now 2 runners on base, and the top of the lineup up, Gio Vera. The Buccaneers have gotten to Velez with 2 outs. 2-out rallies, the name of the game for South Dade. 4-2 is our score. That one in the dirt there, ball 1. Tying runs, sits on first base. John Uveris on deck. The contact hitter for the Buccaneers. The defensive catcher, Gio Vera, in the leadoff spot, will look to do something with the bat here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. There, a ground ball, base hit. And the bases will be loaded for Jonel Uveris, and the Buccaneers have gotten to Velez. And here comes Jonathan Butler, going to run for Gio Vera. And Jonel Uveris will look to do some damage here. What a good piece of hitting. That is 4 consecutive hits for the Buccaneers. And they are really starting to put it on Velez. They are sitting on that fastball and sending it right back where it came from. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. Uveris looks to drive in 2 runs and tie this ball game. The go-ahead run stands on first base. The tying run stands in scoring position on second. That one outside, ball 1. On deck is Alex Regea. Has the best batting average on this team with the .359 batting average. You really want to get him up to hit here. If he comes up to hit, something good's happening. Here comes the pitch. That one skied to the shortstop, Duarte. Negrin actually calls everyone off. The Buccaneers get 2 back in the top half of the second, and we will head to the bottom of the second, where Buccaneers will look to toss a 0 when we come back. We are back here at Rayboy Field for the bottom half of this second inning. The Buccaneers get 2 back in the top half of the inning on the backs of 4 consecutive singles. And now they'll try to toss up a 0, get the bats back in their hands. Mercedes throws a fastball in there for a strike. Great pitch to get the first strike of the inning. Count is 0-1 on Porta. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2. Quickly 0-2. Now here comes the 1-2 pitch by Mercedes in the dirt. Even now at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch by Mercedes. In the dirt, ball 3. From 0-2 to 3-2. can't lose him. You can't also, you don't want the leadoff man to get on. That is a plague in high school baseball. It's just cause for disaster. Here comes the 3-2 pitch by Mercedes. And there's a ground ball hit towards Martinez at short. He fields it, throws it over to first, and Horta can't pick it. There's a throwing error by Yodi Martinez, and now with the runner on, Brian Garcia, the second baseman, the 9-hole will look to do some damage. Now Garcia digs in on Mercedes. I'm sure there's activity in the Buccaneers bullpen. Porta, small lead over there at first. He fakes it. That fastball up top for ball 1. Here comes the pitch. This one, a bunt attempt, will go foul. Now the count even at 1-1. Southwest likes to bunt, so I would not be surprised if they continue this. Head coach Mandy Pelez, very good coach, has been at Southwest for a very long time. Very experienced. He definitely knows what he's doing. Here comes the 1-1 pitch by Mercedes. Bunt shown again. This time it is bunted towards the first base side. Horta fields it, throws it over to Mercedes, and they got it for out number 1. A sacrifice bunt by Brian Garcia turns the lineup over to Oris Joe Valdez with the runner in scoring position and 1 out. Valdez awaiting the first pitch by Mercedes. He's getting a sign from Vera. Here comes the pitch. All-speed pitch in there for strike 1. Second time they've started him off with that curveball. Southwest hasn't been very aggressive on that first pitch. Valdez, the best hitter that Southwest has. Great baseball player. He has an 0-1 count on him right now. Taking off for third. That one almost gets passed by Vera, and now Garcia in third with the stolen base. Let's see if the Buccaneers bring the infield in. Fouled off, strike 2. The count 2-2 now. All even up. Here comes a 2-2 pitch by Mercedes. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Almost gets away from Vera. Drop strike 3. Throw over to first. Can't see it as Douglas Horta, and a run will score for Southwest. A drop strike 3 does not go South Dade's way, as Douglas Horta could not see it over at first, and it gets past them. And Southwest has gotten 1 run back, and now the score is 2-5. That'll bring up Dylan Duarte with Oris Joe Valdez on second base. That was out number 2 right there if Vera could field that ball. Just not good for the Buccaneers as Southwest gets a run back. 3-run deficit now. The Buccaneers face Dylan Duarte is up for Southwest. Emmanuel Mercedes will look to battle here. Here comes the 0-0 pitch. In there for strike one. Actually, excuse me, that was away for ball one. Time is called here for Southwest to put all the equipment inside their dugout. Stepping off the mound is Mercedes. Here comes the pitch to Duarte in the dirt, ball one. Mercedes, 44 pitches. Here comes his 45th pitch and pickoff attempt here. Now stealing third now is out as a ground ball fouled off. Southwest really taking advantage of where Adniel is playing. He is playing inside the infield grass, and they are just trying to steal third every single time. The count is 1-1 on Duarte. I would expect them to try to steal again. With one out here. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. Strike two. The count 1-2 on Dylan Duarte. With one out. 1 run scored for Southwest. Pickoff attempt here, not in time. Now here comes the pitch by Mercedes in the dirt. The count is now full on Duarte. Here comes the payoff pitch, and that one is a pickoff attempt. No throw to second. Here comes the payoff pitch by Mercedes. Outside, ball 4, and there's a walk. 2 runners on with 1 out. And now here comes Anthony Reyes for Southwest. Here comes the first pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Counting 0-1 on Reyes with 2 runners on and 1 out in the top half of the bottom of the second. 1 run scored for Southwest. Here comes the pitch, outside, ball 2. This one's just getting away from Mercedes. I would expect Baldo to pull the plug here pretty soon. You can't really afford to give up many runs. I mean, here comes the pitch, upstairs, ball 3. And this is just not what you really love to see out of Mercedes right now. As this one is just really starting to get away from him. Potentially could be his last batter if he throws another ball. Could see a 3-0 hack here by Reyes. I mean, wouldn't doubt it. With only 1 out, here comes the 3-0 pitch by Mercedes. Showing bunt, throwing it in there for strike 1, and now the count is 3-1, and a hitter's count for Anthony Reyes, and would be sure he'd be sitting on a fastball here probably. Mercedes gets his sign. He comes set. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Ground ball towards shortstop. Picked it up, thrown over to second. Throw over to first in time, and there's a double play. A good way to end this inning after the walk by Mercedes, and the Buccaneers will desperately take that. And we will head to the top of the third when we come back. Now here comes Alex Regea for the South Dade Buccaneers as we are back at Rayboy Field. South Dade down 2-5 right now. We are in the third inning. Top of the third at Rayboy Field. Buccaneers looking to get a run back. Velez on for his third inning of work. Gave up 2 in the last inning. The Buccaneers starting to get to him. As that one is swung on and missed for strike one. As here comes the 0-1 pitch by Velez. That one upstairs, ball one. Here comes a 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed, strike two. Curveball in the dirt there, good 12-6 by Velez. He has a great curveball, I've been told by Coach Baldo and a couple other guys. As here comes the 1-2 pitch, fouled off. We will do it again. On deck is the captain, Yodi Martinez. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. This one skied, and we'll go foul. The count will remain at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and swung on and missed, strike three. Great curveball in the dirt there. Throw it on the first in time. And Reguea's put away for out number one. Now here comes the captain, Yodi Martinez, who had a good at-bat against Velez in the last inning. He led off the last inning with a ground out to the shortstop, Dylan Duarte. And he'll see this one and absolutely destroy this one foul. Was definitely sitting on that fastball. Crushed that ball foul. And there, that one fouled off. Now the count is 0-2 on Martinez. Count is 0-2 on Martinez. He gets into that wide two-strike adjust stance. Here comes the pitch. He fouls that one off to stay alive. The count remains at 0-2. We're fixing the brightness of that camera in center eventually. Soon enough, it will be fixed. For now, we're sorry about that. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three. There's two outs. Two outs in the top of the third, and Yuxnel Gato coming up to hit for the Buccaneers. And he'll look to spark another two-out rally for the South Dade Buccaneers. Douglas Horta on deck. This first pitch at the head of Gato, and he gets out of the way of that one for ball one. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed, strike one. Here comes the 1-1 pitch inside. Oh, and that one is called for a strike. Count 1-2 now on Gato. Velez looking to have a clean inning here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike three, and a 1-2-3 inning by Velez. And the Southwest Eagles will come back up to hit when we come back. We're back at Rayboy Field for the bottom of the third. A new pitcher on the mound for the Buccaneers. It is number 24, Alejandro Bros. He pitched against Cypress Bay last week, Saturday, through 4 innings of good baseball, 4 1/3, and he'll look to do a little bit of cleanup here for the South Dade Buccaneers and get 3 quick outs to get him back into the dugout. They want to have a 0. 2 innings, they've given up a run, and Bros will be taxed with getting a 0 here. Here comes the first pitch. That one looked like to be off the bat. That had to have hit the bat. And now the umpires are going to come together and talk about this. I straight heard it hit the bat. I mean, I don't know how the home plate umpire doesn't see that. And all 3 umpires are going to come together and talk about this. We're going to see what the ruling is here in a second. Foul ball, and that'll be strike 1. And now Coach Pelez of Southwest gonna make his money's worth out of his conversation with the home plate umpire here. And now here comes the first base umpire to have a chat with Mandy Pelez. And now here he's going to have a talk with him. And now this game is going to completely be stopped for this conversation. I think they're trying to say that the ball went off the helmet of Negrin. But, like, this can't be reversed once it is called by all 3 umpires. So I don't know what the big deal is here. Pelez very much getting his money's worth out of his conversation with all 3 umpires now. But nonetheless, we are here, and the count is 0-1 on Negrin. And here comes the 0-1 pitch by Bros. A long delay there, but we are back now. Here comes the pitch. There's a ground ball fouled off, strike 2. The count 0-2 on Negrin now, the 4th batter for Southwest. He is their 3rd baseman. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Bros. There's a ground ball, first base side. Horta can't get it. Regea can't get it either, and that is a base hit. An 0-2 single by Negrin, and now here comes Latcher. As it looked to be, Horta started towards the bag and just misfooted on that one, dove for it, but it got past his outstretched glove, and it also got past Regea's glove. This one upstairs, ball 1. So the count is 1-0 on Latcher. Here comes the 1-0 pitch by Bros. Upstairs, ball 2. No outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Here comes the pitch. That one in there for strike 1. Fake steal by Negrin on first. The count even at 1-1 on Latcher now. Here comes the 1-1 pitch by Bros. Upstairs, ball 2. Excuse me, that was ball 3. The count 3-1 now. Pickoff attempt to first is not in time. Negrin gets back in there safe. Here comes the 3-1 pitch by Bros. Pickoff attempt again. Almost got Negrin there. He was looking towards second. It looks like he might be stealing here. On a 3-1 count, this would be a perfect time to steal. Going is Negrin on first. Throw down the second. Not in time. Negrin gets in there safe, and the count is full on Latcher. Villamore on deck with the runner in scoring position for Southwest and nobody out. The count is 3-2. Bros will get his sign from Vera behind the plate. Here comes the 3-2 pitch by Bros. The ground ball hit towards Regea at second base. He fields this one. No throw over to first, not in time. That'll be an infield single for Latcher. Now here comes Tyler Villamore with the first and third situation. These Southwest Eagles like to run this double steal where they send the guy on first to second and they get him into a little rundown and they try to score a run. I'm sure the Buccaneers know this play all too well, as it has been ran against South Dade in previous years. No outs in the bottom of the third. The score is 2-5 Southwest. Little windmill move by Bros, and not budging is Latcher at first. First pitch, bunt attempt here goes foul. And the count 0-1 on Villamore. That one fouled off, strike two. The count quickly 0-2 on Villamore. As there's an 0-2 count on Villamore, Rico on deck, Porta in the hole. It's the 6th, 7th, and 8th spot. Desperately needing a strikeout here is Bros. Has an 0-2 count on Villamore. He comes set. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Upstairs, ball one. Count is 1-2 on Villamore. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Bros got his sign. Here it comes. Fouled off. We're going to do it again. Good fight by Villamore. Here comes the 1-2 pitch by Bros. Inside, ball two. Count even now at 2-2. Count all even at 2-2. Two runners on, nobody out in the bottom of the third. Here comes the 2-2 pitch in the dirt, ball three. From 0-2 to 3-2. Can't lose them. Here comes the 3-2 pitch by Bros. Ground ball hit towards Bros. And they'll just take the out. There's out number one. A run scores for Southwest. The score now 6-2 with one out in the bottom of the third. That was a high chopper towards Bros. Negrin was running on contact. There's a runner on second base for Southwest with one out. Buccaneers trail by 4 runs. Twelve outs to go. 12 outs left for the Buccaneers. Here comes the pitch. That one in there for strike one. Good pitch by Bros. Starts Rico off with what looked to be a slider there for strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Low for ball one. The count now even at 1-1. On deck is Alejandro Porta. Outside now, ball two. Here comes the pitch. In there for strike 2. The count even now at 2-2. Here comes a 2-2 pitch by Bros. High chopper again towards Bros. He'll pick this one up and fair ball, and that'll be a base hit for Rico. First and third situation again. As they're just getting on top of the ball and just hitting these high choppers that Bros has to field and play himself. And now here comes Alejandro Porta. 1 run scored for Southwest so far. The score is 6-2. This one's starting to slip away from the Buccaneers. There's a bunt attempt towards Bros. Picks it up, throws it at the plate, and he is out at the plate. Well in time. A suicide squeeze, and the Buccaneers get the second out of the inning. Great play off the mound by Alejandro Bros to get the second out. Saves the run, keeps the score at 6-2. And there are 2 outs in the bottom of the third. That bunt was right to Bros. Bros has had the field every ball pretty much and has gotten both outs. And now the 9-hole, Brian Garcia up to hit. Leadoff man, Orange Joe Valdez on deck. Got to get out of this inning with only have given up 1 run. Can't give up any more. That one in there for a strike. Great fastball by Bros. Painting there. Count 0-1 on Garcia. Buccaneers desperately want to get back into the dugout. Try to put some more runs on Velez. Horta, Gory, Diaz due up in the top of the 4th. That one was ball 1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch by Bros to Garcia. This one is in there for strike 2. A high strike. Count 1-2 on Garcia, now the second baseman. Now Velez getting hot back in the Southwest dugout. Here comes the 1-2 pitch by Bros. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Southwest gets one back, and the Buccaneers will try to respond in the top of the 4th when we come back. We are back here at Rayboy Field. Douglas Horta leading on for the Buccaneers in the top of the fourth. 12 outs to go. 12 outs left for South Dade. Down by 4 runs. Got to start something here against Velez. Here comes the first pitch. There is a swing and a high fly ball hit towards Rico and right, and he fields that one. And that is out number 1. With 1 out, 1 pitch, 1 out for Velez. And here comes Damian Gorey. Had a single last time up. We'll look to do the same here. Here comes the first pitch. Upstairs, ball 1. The Buccaneers desperately needing a base runner here. Got to do anything you can to get on base. That one in the dirt, ball 2. And Damian now ahead of the count at 2-0. Adniel Diaz on deck. Rodriguez in the hole. Each of those 2 have singles today, including this man at the plate. That one in there for strike 1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Line drive, base hit by Damian Gorey. 2 for 2 with 2 singles today, and that one gets past the right fielder, center fielder Valdez. Throw in the second, not in time. Damian Gorey with the single and gets the second on an error by the center fielder, and now the Buccaneers in business with the runner in scoring position and 1 out. And now here comes Adniel Diaz, and activity now going to warm up in the Southwest bullpen as it looks like Villamore, the designated hitter now, is going to start to get hot. Buccaneers down by 4 with the runner in scoring position. Desperately need to get that runner in. That one upstairs, ball 1. Diaz, a very good hitter, the freshman, as this is a big spot for him now. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. In there for strike 1. Looked inside initially from where I'm sitting, but could have gotten over the plate. Here comes the 1-1 pitch by Velez. Ground ball hit towards the shortstop Duarte. Picks it up, throws it over to first in time, and there's out number 2. Adniel got jammed on that pitch, and now Rodriguez will look to drive in a run. Damian Gorey hangs on at third with 2 outs. Gio Vera on deck. Buccaneers trail by 4. That one fouled off for strike 1. The count is 0-1 on Rodriguez. Here comes the 0-1 pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Good take by Connor Rodriguez. Gio Vera hangs on deck. Would love to get him up. Here comes the 1-1 pitch in the dirt, ball 2. The count 2-1. Ahead of the count is Rodriguez. They're really hunting for that fastball. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's skied towards Negrin at third base. He camps under it, and he will put it away for out number 3. A 0 for Velez, and Southwest will come back up the hit when we come back. We're back for the bottom of the 4th. Bros will face off against the leadoff man for Southwest, or is Joe Valdez. And they'll look to toss up a 0, get the bats back in their hands. Here comes the pitch in the dirt ball 1. They start Valdez off. First pitch, all 3 at-bats so far today with 3 off-speed pitches. Here comes the pitch. That one in the dirt, another off-speed pitch for ball 2. And quickly, Bros is in a little bit of trouble. Here comes a 2-0 pitch by Bros. Low for ball 3. Quickly 3-0. Man, that ball has been called a strike all day today. Here comes a 3-0 pitch by Bros. In the dirt, ball 4. And a leadoff walk by Alejandro Bros. And that'll bring up the second batter, Dylan Duarte. And that is the 5th consecutive inning with the leadoff man on for the Southwest Eagles, which has been terrible for South Dade. You can't win baseball games like that. We are getting late in this game. South Dade trails by 4. Runner on first. Fake steal. Pitch out by Bros, and that is 5 consecutive balls thrown by Bros. Buccaneers still have Blanco, Gianmarco Valenzuela, and a couple other arms ready to go if they were to need one. Pickoff attempt to first. Gets away from Horta. Valdez running. Throw to second is not in time. Valdez gets in there safe. And Southwest has a runner in scoring position, nobody out. And here comes Baldo. Baldo is walking around. And now here we're going to talk about the people in play over in the first base dugout. And we're arguing about the ball hitting someone over there. And if that were the case, I would assume Valdez would have to go back to first, but I don't think they're going to reverse this. And no reverse here, as we will just play on with the runner in scoring position and nobody out. Score is 2-6. Buccaneers trail by 4. Southwest got off to a hot start with the 4 runs in the first inning. South Day battle back, put up 2, and has been zeros ever since. This one by Bros is in there for a strike. Good pitch by Bros. Count even at 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch by Bros. Ball 2. It's just been a difficult day for the pitchers for South Day. This is just not the type of day you want to see out of your pitchers on an important game like this. Bunt attempt there is in there for a strike. Duarte couldn't even catch up to that ball on the bunt. And now home plate umpire is going to have a conversation with Coach Baldo. Count is 1-2 on Duarte after the umpire says no more bullhorn to the people in the stands. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and there's a pickoff attempt by Bros. Does not throw it. And now time is called, and here comes Vera to come talk to his pitcher. Well, we are back after the mound visit by the catcher, Gio Vera. Here comes the 1-2 pitch by Bros. It takes a long pause. Here comes the pitch now. There's a ground ball, and that'll be a base hit. That is going to score a run, and Southwest now leads 7-2. That is a run in every single inning by Southwest. And the score now 7-2 as this one's starting to get ugly. Buccaneers now trail by 5 runs. A run in every single inning by Southwest. That one fouled off for strike 1. There's still no outs. They're all over the South Dade pitching today. Error-riddled day for South Dade. They have 4 errors today. Southwest only has 6 hits. Buccaneers have 5 with 4 errors. 4 walks today for all South Dade pitching. Only 3 strikeouts. This one's in there for strike 2. The count 1-2 now on Reyes. 9 outs to go. 9 outs to play with. South Dade only has 9 outs left to salvage across 5 runs as it stands right now. 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3, and there's the first out of the inning. Top of the lineup, do it for the Buccaneers in the top of the 5th. And now Negrin now up to hit. In the dirt for ball 1. Here comes the pitch by Bros. That one in there for a strike. Negrin pulls back on the bunt attempt, and the count is 1-1. Long pause by Bros. Pickoff attempt now. One out on top of the bottom of the 4th. Here comes the pitch by Bros. That one is in there for strike 2. The count 1-2 now on Negrin with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Runner on first base. 1 run scored this inning for Southwest, and the score is 7-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch by Bros to Negrin. Fouled off, and we will do it again. These Eagles will not go down easy. You got to pitch to them. They will foul everything off. Strikeouts have come very little today. Duarte over there at first base. He's got a good lead. He's going to steal on this pitch. Here comes a throw in the second. Not in time. The count is full now, as that one looked like it could have been in there for a strike. And the home plate umpire didn't give him that strike call. Now in danger of walking another man. And on deck is Latcher. Pickoff attempt the second. Not in time. Duarte gets back in there safe. Here comes the payoff pitch by Bros. Swung on and missed strike 3. Good pitch by Bros to get the second out of the inning. And now with 2 outs and a runner on second base. Here comes Latcher. The runner in scoring position, threatening the score again, is Southwest. Pickoff attempt now to second is not in time. Duarte gets back in there safe. So now here comes the pitch by Bros. Swung on and missed, strike one. Here comes the pitch. That went outside, ball one. Count 1-1 on Latcher. Villamore on deck. Duarte hangs on there over at second. 1 run scored for Southwest in the bottom of the fourth. Score is 7-2. Here comes the 1-1 pitch by Bros. And then here's another pickoff attempt by South Dade. They got a pickoff earlier in this game in the first inning. Emmanuel Mercedes picked off. Latcher actually at the plate was picked off. Another pickoff attempt, and this time it gets in the center field. Gatto can't field it, and they're going to send them. Here comes the throw to the plate, not in time. Southwest has an 8-2 lead. Too many pickoff attempts there. I mean, you didn't get them on the first 5 tries. And now Southwest leads 8-2. And this one's starting to get away from South Dade. Now down 6 runs. That one outside, ball 3. The count 3-1 now. A 5th error on the day by South Dade. A throwing error and then a fielding error. So that'll actually make 6 errors today. You can't win a baseball game like that. But we're still not done here at Rayboy Field. There's still 3 innings left to play. And these Buccaneers show no quit. They will fight all the way up to the last out. That one in the dirt. And now the count is full at 3-2. Here comes a 3-2 pitch in there for called strike 3. South Dade has to get a couple back when we come back. We're back in the top of the fifth at Rayboy Field. Buccaneers trail by 6. Top of the lineup up for them now. Here comes Gio Vera. He took that first pitch. Curveball up high for ball 1. Activity in Southwest's bullpen as they are starting to warm someone up. The count 1-0 on Vera. They really need to get a couple runs back here. They are down to their last 9 outs. That one in the dirt, ball 2. 2 runs given up in the bottom of the 4th. Southwest has scored every single inning. And Gio ahead of the count at 2-0 needs to get on base. Here comes the 2-0 pitch upstairs, ball 3, and now the count is 3-0 on Vera. On deck is John L. Uveris. Contact hitting designated hitter today. Usually plays center. 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. The count now 3-1. Hitters count for Vera. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, and the leadoff man is on for the South Dade Buccaneers in the top of the 5th. And here comes Jonathan Butler, going to run for Vera. Now here comes the head coach of the Southwest Eagles to come have a chat with Velez on the mound. I think this might end his day, and it will. Leadoff man on for the Buccaneers. Jano Uveris up to bat. We'll be right back with the new pitcher. Now here comes Jana Uveris against the pitcher. It'll be Tyler Villamore on the mound for the Southwest Eagles. And his first pitch is outside, ball 1. Got to strike now if you're South Dade. Y'all know Uvaris with the 1-0 count. Butler on first, small lead. This pitch is fouled off, and now the count is all tied up at 1-1. Regueya on deck. Martinez in the hole for the Buccaneers. Butler leads off first. Here comes the 1-1 pitch by Villamore in the dirt ball 2. And more activity in Southwest's bullpen as it looks like someone is just over there tossing. Butler leads off first base. And time now called by Uvaris in the box. The count 2-1 on him. He's 0 for 2 today. Looking to get something going for the Buccaneers. Here comes the 2-1 pitch in the dirt ball 3. Now the count is 3-1 on Uvaris. And this could get interesting if he walks him. This would be a good pitch to steal on. Here comes the 3-1 pitch in there for strike 2. No outs in this top half of the 5th. Runner on first base. The count is full on Uvaris. Butler leads off first. Here comes the 3-2 pitch by Villamore. Taking off is Butler. There's a ground ball hit towards Duarte at short. It goes past Duarte, and Butler will get to third, and the Buccaneers now have runners at first and third with 1 out. Here comes the heart of the order with Alex Regueya. Here comes Alex Regueya with nobody out, 2 runners on for the Buccaneers. They desperately need to score a pair, maybe even more here to get themselves back into this game. First pitch by Villamore is in there for a strike. The count 0-1 on Regueya. And there's a steal by the Buccaneers, and now Uvaris gets to second, and now the Buccaneers have 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out. Now time is called, and now here comes a chat with the catcher. And now we're going to try to get that camera in center fixed as soon as possible. Eventually. Two runners in scoring position. Here comes the pitch by Villamore. Oh, my goodness. I think he might have crossed up his catcher there. Hold on. Pickoff attempt to third is not in time. Here comes the pitch to Regueya. He fouls that one off. Can you fix the camera in center? Not sure what the count is on Regueya. We're trying to fix that camera in center field as soon as possible here. Here comes the pitch to Regueya now in the dirt, and that one gets away from the catcher. Here comes Butler, and the Buccaneers have scored a run. And here we go. The score now 3-8. Desperately needing to get a pair here. Another run has to come in the score. Here comes the pitch to Regueya. Fouls that one off. Here comes the pitch by Villamore. There's a ground ball. Oh, good play by the first baseman, and a run will score for the Buccaneers. The score now 4-8 with one out in the top of the fifth. And here comes Yodi Martinez. Now here comes Yodi Martinez up the hit for the Buccaneers with one out. That one in there for strike one. 2 runs scored in this top of the fifth. The score 4-8 now. As that one is skied and will head into the bullpen for strike two. Count is 0-2 on Martinez. Gatto on deck. No win now here at Dade. If someone can get a hold of one for the Buccaneers, if Martinez were to get on, if Gatto can get a hold of one, could make this a 2-run game, but got to get on first and got to hit that home run to make that happen. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Villamore and swung on and missed. Strike three. Good curveball by Tyler Villamore there to get the second out of the inning, and here comes Yuxnel Gatto. Two outs here in the top of the fifth. Villamore on the mound. That one low for ball one. On deck is Damian Gorey. He's 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. Buccaneers trail by 4 runs. That one fouled off. We're trying to fix that camera in center field. If the person that works with the cameras ever decides to walk out there, it will be fixed. That one in the dirt ball 2. The count 2-0 now. It's a 2-0 pitch upstairs, ball 3. The count quickly 3-0 on Yuxnel. On deck is Douglas Horta. 7 outs to play with for South Dade. They trail by 4 runs. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. A 3-0 hack by Gato. And the count 3-1 on Yuxnell now. Here comes the 3-1 pitch by Villamore. Ball 4. And the Buccaneers now have a runner on with 2 outs. And here comes Douglas Horta. Now here comes Douglas Horta. Runner on first base. It is Gato on first. Here comes the first pitch to Horta in the dirt there. Ball 1. On deck is Damian Gorey. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fake steal there. That is ball 2. And the count 2-0 on Douglas Horta now. Here comes the 2-0 pitch by Villamore. Upstairs, ball 3. Count 3-0 now on Gato. On Horta. Gato on first base. Gorey on deck. Here comes the 3-0 pitch in there for strike 1. Count 3-1 now on Horta. Here comes the 3-1 pitch by Villamore. Swung on and missed, strike 2. The count 3-2 on Horta. Here comes the 3-2 pitch by Villamore. In the dirt, ball 4, and that is back-to-back walks by Villamore with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Damian Gorey. Now here comes Damian Gorey. Pinch running for Horta is Addison at first. I'm sure Douglas is going to come back in at first base when the Buccaneers go back on defense. But right now, Caden Addison in his spot. Here comes the first pitch to Damian Gorey by Villamore. Fouled off, and the count 0-1. Damian 2 for 2 today, 2 singles. Trying to keep this one going, trying to score a couple more runs for the Buccaneers. A single here should be able to score a run and put the Buccaneers within 3. Right now, it is a 4-run ball game. They trail 4-8. Here comes the 0-1 pitch by Villamore. Spins a curveball in there for strike 2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Villamor to Gorey. Upstairs, ball one. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one fouled off. Good to stay on that one and keep himself alive. On deck is Adniel Diaz. Would love to get the freshman up to hit with the bases loaded. Would love to get him up to hit with the run scored too. Here comes the 1-2 pitch by Villamor. Swung on and missed, strike three. Buccaneers get two back in the top of the fifth, and we will head to the bottom of the fifth when we come back. A new pitcher on the bump for the Buccaneers. Now we're back in the bottom of the fifth. Yodi Martinez on the mound for the Buccaneers. Taking his place at short is Gato. Coming in the game in left is Jana Uveris. Going to center is Damian Gorey. And now at first base is Yadiel Molina. That one in the dirt for ball one. Martinez threw his first pitch for a strike, and the count even at 1-1 now. 1-0 pitch. 1-1 pitch is up high for ball two on Villamore, who is pitching for Southwest. They have a 4-run lead over the Buccaneers. Buccaneers got 2 runs back in the top half of this inning. That one upstairs, ball 3. The count now 3-1, and another chance for the leadoff man to get on base for Southwest. As here comes the 3-1 pitch by Martinez, upstairs, ball 4, and that is a leadoff walk by Villamore. And just the name of the game for the Buccaneers today has been the leadoff man getting on, or just letting the leadoff man get on. And here comes Pelez to, I think, put a pinch runner in. We're in the bottom of the 5th at Rayboy Field. Nobody out. Dade trails by 4 runs to the Eagles, and it's getting late. South Dade down to their last 6 outs, trailing by 4. Max Rico up to hit for Southwest. Here comes the pitch. That one in there for a strike. The courtesy runner for the pitcher is number 17, Brandon Pereira. Pereira on first. 0-1 count at the plate on Rico. Slide step pitch is outside, ball 1. Count even at 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch by Martinez. Bunt attempt is fouled off, and that hits Vera, and Vera looks a little hurt here. Now Gio picks up his glove. He is limping a little bit. Count 1-2 on Vera. Pereira on first base. Vera seems okay. It looks like he's laughing with Coach Baldo. When we get back into the dugout for Dade to hit, Diaz, Rodriguez, and Vera will be due up. Down to their last 6 outs. Lee trails by 4 runs. Nobody out in this bottom of the 5th. 1-2 count on Rico. That one fouled off to stay alive. Buccaneers desperately needing a 0 here. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Pickoff attempt. Not in time. Pereira gets back in there safe. Here comes the pitch by Martinez. Sidearm delivery there in the dirt for ball 2. Count even at 2-2. Here comes a 2-2 pitch by Martinez. He steps off. On deck, Alejandro Porta, the 8th hitter, the left fielder. Here comes the pitch, fouled off, and we will do it again. Here comes the 2-2 pitch by Martinez to Rico. In there for strike 3. Good pitch by Yodi Martinez to get the first out of the inning. Got Rico looking there, and that'll bring up Porta with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Pereira on first base. Diaz will come to the edge of the infield grass, expecting a bunt here. That first pitch is in there for a strike. Porta watched that first pitch curveball for strike 1. Stepping off the mound is Martinez here. Pickoff attempt, not in time. Pereira gets back in there safe. Here comes the pitch. What a good pitch by Martinez. Porta was very fooled there, and he watches that one for strike 2. Count is 0-2 on Porta. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Good work by Gio behind the plate to keep that in front of him. Time called now. Martinez steps back on. Runner on first base, 1 out. The count is, I think, 1-2 or either 2-2 or Porta. Here comes the pitch by Martinez. Ground ball hit towards Gatto at short. He bobbles it, throw over to first, gets by Molina, throw down the second, not in time, and now Southwest has 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. Error-riddled play there as Gatto picked that one up and threw it away from first. And now 2 runners in scoring position for Garcia. It's just been one of those days for the Buccaneers today where just nothing goes your way. They still have 6 outs to play with. They trail by 4 runs. Garcia up to hit. Valdez on deck. The leadoff man for Southwest. Martinez steps off. The infield in for the Buccaneers. Trying not to let a run score. Here comes the first pitch by Martinez. Strike 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Excuse me, that was the 0-1 pitch. There is 2 strikes now on Garcia. 0-2 count on Brian Garcia, the second baseman for Southwest. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Martinez. That one skied into left. That'll be over the head of Uveris. That'll be 2 runs for Southwest. Score now 10-4. A 1-out double by Brian Garcia, and Southwest now leads 10-4. They get those 2 runs back with that 1-out double. And that could be the nail in the coffin for this district championship game. Uveris was playing in, and Garcia just barely got it over his head, as Southwest has scored in every single inning of this baseball game. They are a scrappy team indeed. Valdez now up to hit. Buccaneers trail by 6 again. That one in the dirt ball too. Here comes the 2-0 pitch by Martinez. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Duarte on deck. 1 out, 2 runs scored for Southwest in the bottom of the 5th. South Bay trails by 6. They have struggled to put together good innings on the mound. Here comes the pitch. That one in the dirt. Ball 3. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 4. And there's another walk by the Buccaneers. Here comes Dylan Duarte with 1 out, 2 runners on. And here comes Coach Baldo to have a chat with his pitcher. We'll be right back. Now we're back at Rayboy Field for Dylan Duarte's at bat. South Day trails by 6 runs. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. That went in there for a strike. Showing bunt was Duarte. If South Dade can't come back, it will be up to the committee to vote them in to regionals. They do have a win over the current 4 seed Cypress Bay. They will not have an automatic bid in the event of a loss. There's still 6 outs left to be played with here. They trail by 6. April 20th at 2 o'clock will be the bracket release on the FHSA YouTube channel. Here comes the pitch. That one slapped in the left field. Uveris on the run, and that one's fouled off. He could not make the diving catch and make that play. Here comes the pitch by Martinez in there for called strike 3. Duarte's down on strikes, and now there's 2 outs, and here comes Anthony Reyes, the catcher for Southwest. Martinez steps off here and wants someone to hold the runner on second base for Reyes, who is at the plate for Southwest. Comes the first pitch by Martinez. That one skied into right field. Rodriguez on the run. That one will go foul. And the count is 1-0. 0-1 on Reyes, excuse me. That pitch is outside, ball 1 on Reyes. The count even now at 1-1. Score 10-4. And the Buccaneers got to do everything they can to make this game close, to give themselves a shot to be selected by the committee to get in. The count 1-2 on Reyes now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 2. Here comes the pitch by Martinez. That one chopped to Martinez on the mound. Throw over to first is in time. Southwest puts 2 on the board in the bottom of the 5th. South Dade will look to strike back, down by 6 when we come back. We're back here at Rayboy Field. Villamor back on the mound for his second inning of work. He throws his first pitch ball to Adniel Diaz. On deck is Connor Rodriguez, and the hole is the top of the lineup, Gio Vera. Buccaneers trail by 6. That one away, ball 2. Desperately needing base runners here. That one in there for a strike. Looked about in the same spot as the last pitch, but this time the umpire rings him up on strike 1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch by Villamor. Upstairs, ball 3. So the count is 3-1 on Diaz. Looking to get the leadoff man on. Could be something the Buccaneers would love to do here. Here comes the 3-1 pitch and the dirt ball 4. And the leadoff man is on base. So here comes Connor Rodriguez. Adniel Diaz on first base for the Buccaneers. Villamor ready to work against Rodriguez. Gio Vera on deck. Buccaneers have 6 outs to play with. They trail by 6 runs. Tall task, but it's definitely doable. That pitch is outside, ball 1. And now we see activity starting to ramp up in the Southwest bullpen. Comes the 1-0 pitch. That one in there for a strike. Count all even up at 1-1 now. Now here we're going to have a pinch runner here is Felix Longart, number 14. I'm pretty confident Diaz is going to re-enter this ball game. The count is 1-1. Rodriguez has a hit today, has an RBI. Here comes the pitch by Villamor. That one in there for a strike. The count 1-2 on Rodriguez. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Buccaneers down to their last 5 outs, playing for their lives right now. Here comes the pitch. That one in there for a strike. Gio showed bunt there. The count is 0-1. Felix on first base. Comes the pitch to Vera. Spins a curveball in there for a strike. That one looked away, but the umpire gave it to him. Now here comes the 0-2 pitch to Vera. Strike 3. Buccaneers down to their last 4 outs here with the runner on first base. First pitch to Uveris is swung on and missed for strike 1. comes the 0-1 pitch in there for strike 2. Count 0-2 on you, Veras. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Villamore. There's a ground ball hit towards the first baseman. He'll pick it up, step on the bag. 3 outs to go for Southwest to claim the district championship. We'll be right back with the Buccaneers on the field when we come back. We're back here at Rayboy Field. We're in a 6-run ball game here. Southwest leads 10-4 on the Buccaneers, and they are 3 outs away from claiming the 7A District 16 championship. That first pitch is in there for a strike on Nedrin, who's at the plate for Southwest. And it'll be really interesting to see how the committee seeds the Buccaneers after this game. The way they have been playing this past month after spring break, they've been on a 6-game winning streak. I think, personally, they deserve a chance to play a regional game, but that's not up to me. That is up to the committee. That one in there for strike 3. And there's the first out of the inning. Buccaneers absolutely need a miracle to get themselves back into this game. Down by 6 runs. Latcher at the plate now for Southwest. They're looking to go back-to-back in the district, and there's a ground ball hit towards Gatto, and it gets right through him, and there is another error for the Buccaneers. The 8th error of the ball game for the South Dade Buccaneers. That has been the tale of the tape so far. Error-riddled game, and it has not gone good. Those are free outs, and those plays have to be made. Just goes right under Gatto's glove. And now here's the pitcher, Tyler Villamore. That first pitch is in there for a strike. As there is strike 1 on Villamore. But you can't win baseball games when you're making 8 errors in one game. It is a tall task to win a game like that. That pitch in the dirt for ball 2. Here comes the pitch. That one in the dirt. The count 2-2 now on Villamore. 6 walks, 8 errors, 10 hits by Southwest, 10 runs. That one fouled off. The count remains 2-2. Emmanuel Mercedes threw 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 5 runs on 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. Bros pitched 2 innings, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. And Martinez on for his second inning of work, and that'll be a balk as the ball just comes out of his hand. And when it's not going good, it's not going good. Everything falling apart now for the Buccaneers. And now time is called here as the head coach of Southwest going to address a player in the dugout that said something. As here comes the pitch. That one fouled off. Here comes the pitch by Martinez. That one fouled off, and we will do it again. Good fight by Villamore at the plate. Here comes the pitch by Martinez. Fouled off, and we'll do it again. Good fight by Villamore. And I'm sure he'll be back out the pitch to close this game out. Just been a one-sided affair today. Southwest has got him from the jump with the 4-run first inning. The Buccaneers battled back and put 2 in the second. That one was in the dirt there for ball 3. Southwest has scored in every single inning. Scored 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and 2 in the fifth. Now we are here in the 6th inning with 1 out and a runner on second base. Here comes the pitch by Martinez. That one skied. Yodi Martinez calling everyone off, and he will put it away for out number 2. Now here comes Max Rico. As it'll be Regea, Martinez, and Gato due up for the Buccaneers in the top of the 7th. Could be the last 3 outs of the season for the Buccaneers. Here comes the pitch by Martinez. There's a line drive base hit by Max Rico. That'll be a run for Southwest. They'll now have a 7-run lead, and the score will be 11-4. And now they have really scored in every single inning. This is the score now, 11-4. 7-run game, and that could very well be the nail in the coffin. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. They're 2 outs. in the 6th inning. Southwest has absolutely owned the Buccaneers today. Rico leads off first base. Here comes the pitch by Martinez in there for strike one. That one in there for strike two. Here comes the pitch. There's a ground ball fouled off. Rico was on the move there. A little hit and run action with 2 outs. Porta at the plate. He has 2 strikes on him. Here comes the pitch as Martinez stepped off, and we'll wait to see the pitch. Here it comes now by Martinez in the dirt, and they're going to say he went around for strike 3, and we will head to the 7th as Vera will tag him, and now he is out. We will head to the 7th. Buccaneers down to the last 3 outs. We'll be right back. South Day trails by 7 in the district championship game. They're down to their last 3 outs as we are in the 7th inning. Here comes the first pitch by Villamore. It is in there for a strike. Southwest 3 outs away from going back-to-back in districts and getting an automatic bid to regionals. That one in the dirt there, ball 1. It'll be interesting to see where Southwest is seated after winning this game. As a district champion, I wonder if they're going to get one of the top 4 seeds and host the regional game. That one fouled off. The count 1-2 now on Regea. Upstairs, ball 2. comes the 2-2 pitch by Villamore. Inside, ball 3. Here comes the pitch by Villamore. Upstairs, ball 4, and the Buccaneers have the leadoff man on. Now here comes Yodi Martinez for the Buccaneers, the pitcher, with the man on first base. South Dade down to their last 3 outs. They have a runner on. They trail by 7. Here comes the pitch to Martinez, in there for strike 1. Comes the pitch. There is a line drive to Valdez. He'll put it away for out number 1. And South Dade's down to their last 2 outs potentially on this season. Now here comes Yuxnel Gato. Runner on first base. South Dade's down to their last 2 outs. Douglas Horta on deck. Here comes the pitch to Gato. He'll watch that one for strike 1. Comes the pitch. There's a ground ball. It'll go foul. The count quickly 0-2 on Horta. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Villamore. Swung on, I missed, strike 3. South Dade down to their last out of the season. Now here comes Yadiel Molina hitting for the Buccaneers. Could potentially be the last hitter of the season. Here comes the pitch by Villamore. It is in there for strike 1. So South Dade will turn to Monday at 2 o'clock to see if they will get a bid to the regionals. That one in there for strike 2. Now they are down to their last strike. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Villamore. Fouled off. It'll take one more pitch. Here comes the 0-2 pitch by Villamore. Outside, ball 1. South Dade will survive for one more pitch. Comes the 1-2 pitch by Villamore. Fouled off, and Molina stays alive. Here comes the pitch by Villamore. In there, called strike 3, and the Southwest Eagles are back-to-back district champions. Final score of 11-4. And they have claimed their second district championship in a row. We want to thank you for joining us on Future Play Sports. The Buccaneers season comes to an end for now, as we will wait for Monday to see if they get a bid to the playoffs. I want to thank you for joining us for all these home games this year. It has been a honor doing these games. I've had a ton of fun. This one doesn't go South Dade's way, but I'm Jake Cowart. Thank you for joining me for this season, and we'll see you next year. Good night.